Hey, you say something else?
Yeah, 1 2 1 2.
Yeah, you in there?
All right. So yeah, the mic was muted on OBS,
Got you.
but I'm coming through now, right?
Yep.
All right,
So you
bet.
can, you can reiterate all that flexing. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
yeah. So this is Logic Pro Global. Apologies for the audio issues on my end. Welcome to another week. Today we're gonna do a couple minutes of flex talking, and then the second half we're gonna go over a project that we all worked on. Drill started the melody, I made the beat, and then we sent it over to Myth, who's gonna add his sauce to it as well. We're gonna be doing a lot of that in our segments. And next week we're gonna start taking each other's old projects or incompleted projects and complete them, right? So if I got a track, a beat that I felt was trash and never finished, Myth is gonna take it, or Drill is gonna take it and sauce it up and complete it. So we're gonna try to start that segment off next week, just to kind of get a feel for what each general is contributing to that project. But right now we're going over automation via the step sequencer and how fantastic it is, right? So I just bounced out the pattern to MIDI, and if I hit A, it should show me the pan lane. Let's see, A. Let's see. Oh, it's in the piano roll. Tweaking. We can't see it here because it's in the piano roll, and tweaking. Here it is right here. So you got the region automation, and then you got the track automation. So I had created it via track. So if we zoom into one of these,
I didn't even know that was possible.
what, to switch between track and region?
Yeah, I didn't even know what that did. Like I knew it was there. I just have never actually toggled it to see anything.
Hey, listen, knowing is half the battle, brother. So this is all the velocity and the panning.
Gotcha. Okay, and it's right there in the actual track.
Right there, yeah. So you do it in the step sequencer, and these are the pans that I did as well. And all this was originally done
Super precise. Okay.
Yeah, all this was done originally in the step sequencer. Feel me?
So that's showing the actual quantizing of the automation too, right there.
Correct.
Everything is on point. That's dope.
Does it track that? I know you were talking about, you also found out you could export that back out to MIDI too. Anything you run through that step sequencer, does it capture any of that stuff that like you automate? Or are you just getting the hard, does it just convert it back to hard MIDI?
It converts it back to hard MIDI.
Gotcha. Okay. So then you could just whatever synth you wanted to with the MIDI from there.
Yeah, pretty much.
Dope. That's dope.
Now there is a way to bounce from MIDI to a pattern, but for whatever reason it's not letting me do it, and I'm kind of scratching my head trying to figure out, doing it now. This thing was grayed out the whole time. Let me see, convert to pattern region. Now the question is, because I don't
Can
remember,
you go back in?
I don't remember all this stuff at the bottom. Yeah.
Okay.
So what it
That's
did,
kind of dope.
Yeah, it works. I think it would work better with percussion, snares, claps, hats, things like that. Because,
definitely,
yeah. With the 808,
for sure.
it looks like it may have just completely altered what I had originally created. But hold up. Let me mute the background music. See something. All right, so I know what it did. So when we converted from MIDI to pattern, it eliminated all the notes that I didn't need. So right now there's only 3 notes that I use for the 808 pattern.
Gotcha.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, because the original template, the original pattern region in the template for the 808 is 3 octaves of notes, right? So in case I want to, get my steady, low note and then bounce up to a higher note, every 4 bars, I have that headroom. But once you bounce it out to MIDI and then bring it back into a pattern, Logic is saying, you know what? all these other empty notes you don't need. This is what you really used, and this is all you really need.
Right. You never went there. Yeah.
Yeah. But let me verify, because what I'm noticing now, we bounced it out, and I don't see my pan
Change
lanes.
the pattern.
Yeah. No, it kept the pattern, but my pans aren't here.
Oh, I see down below in the next automation trail.
Yeah. So there is a downside to that, but I wouldn't use this for 808s. I would use it more for percussion, if anything else, especially for the kits, right? So like if you guys make a beat, you guys are more familiar with making beats via the piano roll, right? So you'll have your hats, your kicks, your snares, your closed open hats, all that good stuff. You would bounce that out from MIDI to pattern, and then push that up into Apple loops. That way, when we create a kit, they'll not only have the MIDI version, but they'll also have the step sequencer version, which they can access on the left here.
Dope. That's dope. Yeah, superior DAW.
Yeah, superior DAW. And I've only scratched the surface with the step sequencer, because I figured out how to do how to make chords and melodies with the step sequencer, to the point where after you get the chords, there's a randomizer that'll take those notes and start switching it around or reverse the melody. Like it's insane. It's insane.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So
it's almost like the step effects inside the sequencer.
Correct.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking.
That's exactly what it is. But I mean, think of everything that you use in Logic, and like, for example, you use Fat Effects and steps and step effects, right? Or A1 trigger gate. You can put an automation lane for A1 trigger gate in the step sequencer and literally manipulate the hell out of it.
That's hard. Okay.
It's fine.
Yeah, I gotta go ahead and mess around with that step sequencer real quick.
Yeah, it's fire. So I'm trying to get wise on that, and then I think the last thing I'm really gonna touch, as far as the update, is the Dolby Atmos. That one is a little intimidating, and I'm a little reluctant to start messing with it. I need about a week with that, watching videos and all that other good stuff. Because like Drill said before, it's one of those things where it can either make the mix or it can destroy the mix. Right? It'll sound good on the headphones, and then when you get in the car, there's like no
unless it has Dolby Atmos in it as well.
It's a train wreck.
Yeah, it's a train wreck. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I use this to switch through. Let me give you a quick flex right quick, and then we'll move on to the project. There's 2 different 808s.
Flex.
That's between C and A.
Hades.
You need some of that Myth 808 sauce.
Yes, sir.
There's a couple of pockets in there that need
that
high end.
So, using 2 808s, man. I know a guy.
This is super hard.
And that's 2 808s on one lane, not 2 separate 808s on 2 separate lanes. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so
got it coming through the alchemy, right?
Yeah, I got it going through alchemy. So technically, I could switch up 4 different times if I felt inclined.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, the step sequencer is it's super untapped, but that's gonna change within the next week or so. You feel me?
Never even used it.
Yeah, me neither. But I'm about to. I'm gonna check it out.
Yeah, for sure. All right. So I'm gonna load up that other project, and then Drill, we'll start with Drill and his melody and show us how you made the melody. And here's what's gonna happen, y'all, everyone that's watching. So Drill has no idea what we've done, what I've done thus far with the beat, right? So you're gonna get a live reaction from the producer of the melody, of the original melody, right? I almost sent it to him yesterday, and then it dawned on me that it would be a better, stream if he didn't hear it until
live reaction.
The actual live reaction. And that's how we're actually going to do it. Even next week when we take each other's projects and we flip it and bounce it, we're not sending it to that producer the day of. He or she, because we might have a female producer down the road, will hear it in real time, just like you, the viewer. So I'm going to load this up. I'm going to stop the share. So Drill can go ahead and share his screen.
All right, let me know when it comes up for you guys.
We see it.
Oh. Provided I can get the project back up. Just want to go through all these damn settings. There we go. All right, can you see the project?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's see. You guys got audio?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. You turned on high fidelity, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Alrighty. So I'll just play it just from the top, and then I'll break it down from there. So this is what the melody that I basically sent out to the group was. So really only 4 elements in total. The core of everything is this, which really, when you strip it back, is just a diode guitar directly into my interface.
Mm-hmm.
Flex.
So just obviously giving myself some headroom so I can add the effects and everything, so I doesn't immediately start clipping.
Let me ask you a question. Started using, you had said the plug-in the other day, and it popped in my head and I threw it on. What are the plugins for guitars when you're using a guitar sound? Can you name them other than what you have here for Waves?
Yeah, I mean, there's from Waves. Waves has Waves GTR. There's I think CLA even has I think they have a guitar plugin. Oh gosh, there's a bunch of them.
There's a popular one that you mentioned last week, and I started using it, and I'm pretty sure it's with Waves. I'm saying
it's not Guitar Rig.
It's not Guitar Rig.
Guitar Rig. Yeah, that's from
that's Amplitude.
Yo, that joint is hard. That joint is hard.
There's some cool stuff in there.
Yeah, that joint is hard. All right.
Well, we have access in-house in Logic to some real cool effects as well.
What are your thoughts on the pedal board?
Everything. I use it for things outside of even guitars.
I feel like that's another underrated plugin.
100%. 100%. On this though, went from, and I'll be 100% transparent, I'm not always great at playing to a click. So I like to just jot down ideas on the guitar, and I'll just sit and loop it up, and I catch something that kind of it feels good and it kind of has a pocket to it, and then I'll go back in and actually put it on grid, basically using the flex time.
Okay.
If you put it in polyphonic, you can kind of, so for example, if I turned it off, it wouldn't loop perfectly, and it kind of sounds like shit. But you'll notice it also, because it's on polyphonic, it will also keep the guitar, as you move the notes, it'll keep them in tune with the original sample. So like if my guitar was originally in tune when I played it, when I flex tune everything, it's going to keep it all in tune. Notice how you don't get any like artifacts or anything like that. Whereas some of the other ones, like if it's monophonic and things, it'll try to bend those notes and it doesn't sound as natural.
Yeah.
So nice. I went in after I basically, first step was tracking it in the system. Second step was getting it all on grid. Once I did the cleanup work though, and everything was there, I then went in, looks like, so
Amp Designer, another underrated, not for
super
everything.
Underrated.
It's just even if the plugin was garbage, right? Just look at the interface, like it's beautiful, and then you start toggling, and then the microphone the microphone in front of the speaker. You can move that.
Yep. You got all of this to move.
Man, listen.
Absolutely.
Stop it.
Fire.
One of the other things that's slept on in this plugin, if you're an actual guitar player, sometimes you don't get that real amp feel when you're playing. Yeah. You actually have the ability through, hold on.
Oh yeah, to switch the amp head and everything.
So you can get in here to all of like the effect sends, everything else like that for the pedal board side. But the other cool thing is it's going to default because it doesn't want to like blow your eardrums out basically. And it thinks that you're going to want it mix ready. So almost all of the amp settings are automatically going to be tailored back a good amount. Like this is almost 12 dB. So if you're actually playing the parts through the amps and you want it to kind of feel more realistic, you drive this back up to closer to 0 and it responds more like a real amp. It's not as tame. Okay. So if you're a guitar player, just a little gem there. All I did with this is I went through and I found a head that was like, I wanted basically something like more in that plexi kind of sound, like a clean. Didn't want it to be overly crunchy. Didn't want it to sound like it was some death metal shit. Kind of wanted just to have some grit just to kind of fill out the sound. And then once I had that, I added, let's get this guy. I went in and added the pedal board. All I have on the pedal board right now is a delay pedal. Just tweak the settings here just so that it gives it like kind of it's almost like a ping pong slapback kind of thing on the guitar. So without it, that's just the amp with the delay. You'll notice it swells.
Oh, fire.
And so that's kind of, go ahead.
Tie-dye has to be a new pedal. I've never seen that pedal before.
Let's see. Yeah, it's here. Just the down. I mean, you may just not have scrolled all the way to the bottom before. It is kind of hidden in the list here.
Probably, because fun fact, I used to use pedal board to give my 808s distortion.
Yep. Like I said, I use it on vocal production all the time for like harmonies and stuff like that. Some of the chorus and like the wah-wah effects on vocals, especially like R&B type vocals, you can do some cool shit with the background vocals on here.
Yeah. It's a dope.
Try stacking your 808 with a lead sound. Okay. And then throw this effect on it. Throw pedal board on it.
Sure.
And the amp.
And the amp, really just get it.
If y'all would have tuned into some of our previous episodes, you might have picked that up. You know what I'm saying?
Another fun fact, when I first started with Logic and I didn't know much about mixing, I needed like a quick mix. I would take the Amp Designer, and I think there's a Logic preset in there, and I would use that to kind of mix the track, because you had the bass knob, you had the treble knob, and then you had the mid knob. So I would just use that to kind of tweak the mix, kind of like a fast, because I didn't know anything about mixing, but I needed something really quick and fairly decent. So
so you use it on the master,
the 10,000 foot mix.
I would put it on the melody, and then I would put it on the drums.
Wow. Okay.
Almost like a mix bus kind of EQ.
Yeah, pretty much. It was a poor man's. It was a poor man's mix. That's what it was.
Gotcha.
Once I had this set and I kind of had like the weird swelly thing going, that's it there. Nothing like really crazy, nothing fancy after that point. And then the second kind of thing that I added to all this was, sounds completely like ass cheeks by itself.
And a melody.
And so you bring in the pedal board, and you'll notice I play with another little thing that I'll mention. I play with pre and post amp send for like my effects. Mm-hmm. So you notice on the main one up here, I went amp and then pedal board, mm-hmm. versus on the lead, I went pedal board and then amp.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Nice. So I always like, I'll find a sound and kind of see what I like. And then I just will I'll grab this and just move it one or, you know, one below or one above it, and just see, give it like an A/B comparison. And then I stick with whatever one sounds better. I do find some of them you get to, depending on the effects and things like that, you tend to get better clarity, depending on which order they come in the chain.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And then, so you bring in the pedal board on this one. Looks like we had, there's some spring reverb and then some retro chorus. The chorus is synced to the grid so that nothing's out of pocket too wavy, since this is pretty wavy with all the reverse shit. Mm-hmm. I didn't want too much stuff to throw it off grid. Mm-hmm. Just kind of gives it almost like that weird, like kind of like surfy vibe. After that, brought in a clean kind of Fender, just like a tweed, just enough kind of breakup to kind of give it just kind of the broken edge, so it'll stand out in the mix. Also, I wanted it to have more of the top end, so I used a different microphone than what it typically would have had here on the settings, played with the microphones, and kind of tweaked it. Same thing with the cab. I wanted it to be a 4x10. I found that some of the other settings there, it made it sound like it was too tight. If you notice, it's kind of wide.
The cabinet is the speaker, right?
Yep, this guy here.
Okay.
The actual speaker itself. And like you have all kinds of different options here. So like you have 1x12s, 4x12s, etc. And then after that, this is where it gets kind of funky and weird. I put in
flex.
I put in a little bit of some crazy effects here. So you'll notice that without this, not a lot of movement. You bring this in. Essentially takes my shitty, boring guitar playing and kind of like amps it up one. So when you bring that in with everything, and then from there, I have it feeding directly into CLA effects.
Plug in flex. Here we go.
Yeah.
So in CLA here, I basically have it cutting the top and the bottom out. So it's doing like kind of a filtered EQ on this. Just so it's kind of taming the overall sounds, because I don't want it to be the main focal point. I wanted to be able to tuck this under that top element there that are actually the guitar chords. It's got a little bit of drive just to kind of let it sit more forward, and then just a slap delay on it. So without it, with it, pushes it out real far in your ears.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And then with those two elements together, then just so you can hear everything we had so far. Which is almost borderline hilarious, because if you turn off the plugins and play even that same loop together, it doesn't even sound like the same thing at all. It's completely different.
Yeah, different character completely.
Like that's dry.
Yeah.
So I always like to I'll come up with something, and then like I said, I play with all the settings and kind of get it to catch a vibe, and then I'll add more effects and things like that until it kind of all starts to groove together. So to me, if you're not really listening, this almost sounds like one guitar.
True.
Yeah, one guitar with like a lot of reverb.
Right.
Yeah,
it's just swimming on its own. And then so from there, I was like, well, if everything else is like real, like, you know, kind of dreamy and like floating around, I needed something to kind of bring it back centered mix wise. So I went in and added, let's see, let's turn that off. I went in and added some low end.
Oh yeah, the plug-in flex is real right now. Okay.
So This setting is basically just like it's got just the two oscillators are engaged, and when the actual preset here, it's very clicky. It almost sounds like it's almost like a clav. And so what I did is I basically just went in here and I took back the attack, so that it has almost no attack at all, and it just kind of it almost swells into the low end as it transitions notes. Another cool thing you can do, if you want the second oscillator to be the only thing that's going to be affected, there is a cool thing you can do in this plugin, specifically with low end, like synth and like any kind of like 808 stuff. You can actually hit this and it'll turn on the second oscillator, which then you can actually crank all the lows. And then you can actually put like portamento bend and things like that. Or if you want to crank the high end with the second oscillator for like what you were saying, Myth, with like your lead sound that you layer with it, you can actually control it with that. And then you're only applying the portamento and everything to this. So your low end stays centered, but then the top end kind of lead that's on top of the bass can bend it separately. So you don't get a lot of like warbly kind of stuff. Yeah, that's exactly. Dope. And it's got like the different, and like if you want to, it actually, you can bend it to certain points. So like bend it up to a minor third, a major third, fourth, etc. So that's kind of cool.
Oh, that is dope.
So you get some really like wild, especially with like pad sounds, you can get some really wild effects going on.
That's
but
dope. Okay.
I find that thing is way better personally for having
low end stuff.
Right. I'm the low end there. Yeah, let me turn this back off though, because the way it was. And then you can also, the other cool thing is if you wanted to like create a pattern from scratch in this, I didn't in this case, I just had it as I played in the two notes, just I didn't want it too complex. You can actually go back in here after you've recorded the notes as well. And you can add different patterns MIDI wise on top of them, just within the synth. It has like old patterns from like the 80s and stuff built in. It's kind of cool.
Nice.
This be a dope plugin to make some the weekend type beats.
Oh yeah, that dark, like almost like Toronto, or like that groovy dark kind of sound.
Yeah.
But yeah, his synthwave sound too that he's been doing lately. So like that 80s retro.
Yeah.
And then from there, I feel like that this by itself, though it's kind of cool, it has zero movement. It's just stagnant. And you can hear that transition there. There's literally no attack hardly at all. And then I brought in the tried and true.
Flex.
Let's go.
Flex.
Let's go.
Go for flex.
Myth put me on game. So if you're not using this, go get it. It changed just a lot of cool things. A lot of cool things you can do with it.
Super
fire.
flex.
It's free too.
Yeah, that's the best part. But without it, and then with it,
yep.
And then one thing that you'll notice as well that gives it an additional movement. To your point, you hear the movement. Notice that the mix knob here moving on its own. I've got it automated.
Flex.
So that it's giving you multiple effects within the one plugin.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Just kind of gives it more of that MGMT kind of like vibe. And then after that, I was like, well, now when you have this loop by itself, I'm like, you kind of have that mid-rangey high stuff. You got your low end covered. And I'm like, well, I just felt like it needed something to drive it more melodically for like kind of an A-B section. So then I went in and added just a basic Prophet sound with the chorus and the delay. And then I maxed out basically the delay to make it kind of more spacey and swimmy. And then by itself, so that laid over top of everything else. Just kind of gives us some of the high end candy area for it to kind of go out and kind of like sparkle and be pretty. And that's it. That's the entire thing on my end. So I'll go ahead and I'll stop sharing. Now I'm interested. Now it's the real moment of truth. I want to hear what you guys did with it.
Oh,
because my beat I ended up making with it was kind of boring. Let's see.
You want to flex that too? Hold on.
Nah, it ain't even that good. We ain't going there. It's fine. We're gonna
That's
I made the loop. It's back over to y'all.
That's a dope breakdown, man. Dope breakdown, man. Appreciate that.
A lot of sauce in there too.
Oh, that's
a lot of hidden sauce.
That's a fact. All right, let me find the screen here. Yeah. All right, so for the viewers, what's going to happen is we're going to play the MP3. And for the sake of the CPU, I don't feel like dealing with this thing glitching. Seeing as though Drill's going to hear this for the first time. I want him to hear it uninterrupted. And then after we play the MP3, we'll go ahead and break down the beat. So let me highlighting the sources.
You might want to load up your scary loop too, Drill. Show that, because I'll show what I did to that one as well.
All
right, Drill. Are you ready?
I'm ready, dude. I'm excited.
All right. Keep in mind before I even play this beat, right? I had Myth in mind because of the conversation we all had about the PG beat battle.
Yeah, right, to pass the baton and everything else what we had talked about.
That, but also how everyone picked the same sample. Didn't do nothing with it. They just looped it and had the same drum pattern. Like there was nothing that made the melody different. You know what I'm saying? They just took the loop and looped it and went with it. So I decided to do as much as I could in a short amount of time. All right. So here we go. Rufus, Prod by Hades. Here we go. Oh. Change the name. Not Rufus anymore. It's .mp3.
I should have just wanted to blue ball me one last time. He's already made me wait. Oh man, all the problems.
Oh, the cliffhanger.
Well, it should play. It should play.
Yeah, just hit the space bar.
All right.
That's drill bit.
That bounce is crazy though.
Okay, cook with the drums. Okay. Okay.
I see with the switch up.
Super dope.
That hook section, I can hear Dominic Fike on 100%. Or like a Latin artist.
Yeah. Weekend to kill this too.
I can see that too.
Yeah, I can see that.
Flip that vibe.
Especially, throw a little sense on there. Yeah, that's a record for sure.
Yeah, that shit goes.
Appreciate
Yeah, it's
y'all.
gonna be easy. It's gonna be easy to add some little sauce to this.
Appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all. Yeah,
That joint is pretty much already a go.
what I can tell you is that, remember when I asked y'all what's your favorite plugin? I forgot what I said. I think it was Alchemy. It was actually Tremolo. Tremolo to me is probably the best plugin because it gives you movement on anything you put it on. You know what I'm saying? So that was the main thing I wanted with your melody, is that I wanted to give it movement on every layer, right? So let's start with the melody first. So down here is the arrangement, but up here is where I did really all the work. So with the GT,
Definitely a flex.
yeah, with the GTR, let me see here. Did I put anything originally on? Let's see. I'm gonna try to explain as articulately as drill. Let's see. This one.
Is that RC20 or EQ? Oh, it's EQ. It's EQ.
No RC.
I hear the bands get tight.
No RC20. I had the guitar rig on it, right? And I think I used a preset. The preset that I used was Airverb. I just loaded that. I didn't tweak anything, and then I bounced it out. That's why it's off now. So I put that on the GTR chords. I think this was a second version of it, but with this one, I also put the guitar rig on it, but I set up a step effect. So I made 2 copies of it, and I nudged one over to the right to give it kind of an arpeggiated kind of feel to it.
Fills the gap.
Yeah, let me see if I play it.
Oh,
Yeah, so it's even doubling my double note off the original.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Exactly.
That's hard though.
So I made the copy. I nudged it over, I believe, a bar, and I had to cut out certain parts to get it to bounce the way it bounced, and then I threw a guitar rig on that. So that was this one. The next one. All right, so this here is muted for some reason. So let me play it without.
That's that lead.
That's the lead. That's the original lead you had, I believe, right?
Yep. Yeah.
So that's the original. So the first thing I did is I threw an A1 trigger gate on it, flex.
It got
let's
it
go.
twice.
Yeah, A1 trigger gate, got to. That's that's the go-to now. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
That's the go-to now. So we put the A1 trigger gate on it, and then right after that, I put in the tremolo. Well, let me play with the A1 trigger gate.
You hear some UK drum and bass on that bitch.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, exactly.
Fire starter.
You know, on a side note, once I start getting back into the groove of making melodies, I'm gonna start exploring, you know, making beats out of the beat. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
Technically, there's plenty of layers here that I can just grab out and make a whole new beat out of it.
Make it completely, yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Versus starting a whole new project, just either take a layer, make a beat out of that, or simply crop out, you know, certain bars. Like I've noticed when I just like cycle maybe the last 4 bars of a joint or the last 2 bars, it gives an unusual bounce. And just strip that out and just build off of that. So, you know, at the end of the day, it's about efficiency. So, all right. So that was the A1 trigger gate. Then next, I put on the tremolo. With the tremolo, I had it on 1/8 step, and I had a depth of 100 and a smoothing of 0. So it was literally bouncing left and right. Right. And then to give it a little bit more width, because the sample stack, all of these samples, all of these regions are under the sample folder. And in this sample folder, I have all my predefined plugins already running with automation and all that other good stuff. So I couldn't use, like, bus 16 is Ozone Imager, and then I have a Dr. MS imager as well. So I couldn't put Dr. MS or Ozone on that strip, because it was just gonna be overkill. So instead I put this free plugin in called Wider, right? And it's an imager, but it's just an even spread. Like with Ozone, you can do a single stereo, you can do a double stereo, and kind of have one lean more towards the other, kind of like is it the sample delay myth?
Yes.
Where you get that little spread out of it. Yeah, it's kind of like that, but this one is an even spread down the middle. So I threw that on just to give it a little bit of width.
How does that one compare to like an S1 from Waves?
You know what? I'm not a big fan of the S1, in my opinion. Yeah, it has a down the middle, even spread across, and then you can kind of lopside the spread in a kind of stereo fashion. I guess I'm just not a fan of the interface. So I've used it once and really never used it again. I think it works great. It's just not me. I'm a visual guy. So if it don't look good, I'm not messing with it. That's probably why I was never a fan of the ES4, because it was an eyesore. I mean, but Myth is the one who can tell you it still is. I mean, it's obsolete now, but it was a superior plugin and a VST or whatnot.
Absolutely. I still use it. Yeah.
All the time. That's sauce too.
Well,
yep.
Do you still have it? It still loads up on your current system? Because I thought they replaced it completely.
I don't believe so. Let me look. Unless they did some crazy shit without me knowing, I'm pretty sure I got that.
I think they replaced it with Sampler. I don't think you're gonna find it.
Nah, S1 Imager, I got it right here.
Oh no, not the S1 Imager. I thought you were talking about the ESX.
No, S1 Imager.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I'm talking about the S1, like the.
Oh yeah, the
imaging
S1 is
plugin
Wave
from
joint.
Yeah, no, I was talking about the ESX 20. Was it 24? That joint is.
Oh
obsolete.
yeah. No, that shit's gone. Unfortunately,
you can't. But Myth still has it on the other computer.
No, it's still yes, sir.
He still got it on the other computer.
Keeping it alive. You know what I'm saying?
So I threw the imager on. So this is what it sounds like with without the imager, and then with the imager.
Who makes this plugin?
Infected Mushroom.
Infected Mushroom. All right.
I gotta get this. I don't have that. I have a million imagers, but I don't have that one.
So that was for the GTR lead.
Right.
Next was the synth. So this is the original synth, and I have 3 versions of this synth. So this is your original synth.
Right. And this is the pluck one, like the little airy pluck.
I believe so. At first, I thought it was a choir.
Or is this the bass? Let's see. Yeah, no, that's the low end.
That's the low end.
That was the bass.
Yeah. All right. That's the original. So the first.
That sounds like that. That sounded like that. Play that again. Does this now sound like that Paper Plane song?
Low key, yeah.
Low key, yeah. Yeah, a little
It's
something.
exactly what it's
Low key.
So the first thing I did was I loaded up
Nobody
Shaperbox.
know the guns like I like him.
So this is some sauce right here, man. I mean, y'all familiar with Shaperbox?
I've heard of it. I've never used it.
Shaperbox is from Cable Guy. So the halftime plugin that we're all familiar with,
right?
There's a function for that in here. But I just ran through the presets, and I started with a Hopper preset, and this is what it sounds like.
Dope.
So is this a step sequencer? I to be 100% transparent, I don't even know what Shaperbox is. I've just seen other people use it.
It's a step sequencer. It's a time shifter. It has drive, filter, pan, and one other thing. I forgot what it was.
Just multi-effects.
And you can use them,
effects all the way around.
Use them all at once, yeah.
And then if you go into the presets, you can go through different packs. You can actually update it. Well, I have the correct. Let me not say the word. You can you can update it with other
tropical
users.
version.
Yeah, the tropical version with other users presets. But it's a dope plugin. So I usually run Shaperbox on all my melodies just to see if I can catch a different vibe, just to get an extra layer on that melody. So I use the hopper.
Right.
I used the hopper for that one. And then I threw a tremolo on it. So this is without the tremolo. And then this is with the tremolo.
Moves a lot.
And it still got movement, yeah.
Right.
So they just made it sort of
Kind of tamed it out.
Better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tamed it out a little bit.
So I had this at a quarter step triplet, 100% depth and full smoothing. So that was that one right there. And then the next one, same synth, ran it through Shaperbox again.
Same setting on Shaperbox, or is it a different setting?
No,
on
different presets. So this preset
Gotcha,
is called Regroove. So this is how it sounds. Oh.
Yeah, I may have to go on and get this. This is gonna be fun to play with.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's fire.
And what you do after you find the preset that you want, I save mine, right? So I have in my presets, I have all the presets that I've used thus far. That way, because it's a lot of presets. So you kind of want to go through the ones you like and then save them so you can always go back to them when you need them. I got them for hi-hats, all that good stuff. So all right, so I put that on, and then I cut out the lows, I believe about 200 hertz, I believe 188, right? And this is how it sounds. It's with it off.
Right, it loses some of that dimension.
Yeah, that's with it on. And then the next one is the same stem, but I have Shaperbox with EF Panner. So this is with it, without it. And this is it with it. So it's just a subtle pan, left and right.
Goes to show the importance of some layering too.
So this preset has the pan, right? But it also has, the filter going through it. Don't ask me, I didn't draw this. That's how it came. Hopefully one day hopefully one day I can buckle down and really dissect the tool and go beyond the presets. This is the volume. And then there's also a width setting in here as well. I mean, the plugin is just crazy. It's crazy. All right.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to cop that one.
And then the last layer, I believe, was the spacey pluck.
Yeah. Okay. So that's that lead synth.
Yeah, I believe so. Let me just kill everything on it.
Yep. Yeah, that's that profit.
Yeah, so your original, I took your original and I chopped it and I moved things around. So it sounds like it's missing pieces, but that's by design. So after I chopped it, I threw on EQ. I cut it to about 458 hertz. I dipped the mids down to, -3. And this is what it sounds like with it. Without. I took out a lot of the low end harshness in it. And again, another flex. This is the go-to. This plugin is slept on, and it might be just as good, if not better, than Shaperbox. But
that's what I use. Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of does the same thing. I think the only thing this doesn't have is the pan functionality. But other than that, was that?
Are you using a third party like bank on this, or do you use the stock banks?
I'm using a third party bank. So CJ Beats had created a gross beat volume 1 through 4, and I purchased those a while back. So I use his presets, and then I manipulated along the way. let me know and I'll drop it in the I'll drop it in your drive if you want a copy of it.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I use that all the time. So
Yeah.
the more banks I can load in, the better. I like some sauce.
Oh, that's a fact.
Sorry to
So you
interrupt.
can use gross beat banks inside this plugin. That's dope.
Yeah, for sure. So this is it without it. And then this is it with it.
Flex.
Nuts.
Right. And then I threw on a tremolo. Give it some movement. Two bars, 67% depth, no smoothing. And then I threw on the infected mushroom widener.
Push it out a little bit.
Yeah, push it out just a little bit. Because with the sample stack that I have, you know, the strip is really designed for when I'm not making my own melodies and I'm just dragging the loop in. You know, whatever the loop is, it's automatically going to give it that width and that, you know, that wrap around feeling. So I can't use the same plugins that are on that bus and on that strip on another strip that's within the folder. You know what I'm saying? It's just right. Going to clash and not sound good. So that's where the infected mushroom comes in. I actually need to add it to one of the strips on my template just so I know it's there, because I completely forgot it was there, to be honest with you. So that's that and then when you put them all together, you get the following. Just a lot of movement. I mean, 4 out of the 6 tracks have tremolo on it.
Dope though.
You hear a little scratching in the background, very subtle.
I was gonna say, I hear it.
Yeah, very, very subtle. Nothing obnoxious, you know what I'm saying? So that was the melody. Any questions on the strip or anything with any of the layers?
No, that's hard.
All right, bet. All right, so let's mute this. So that should be muted. Let's go to
this is definitely trying to win Flex Talk today. For sure.
I gotta dissect properly, man.
He went in on this though.
The photo, you know, he did. He went in. You know what I'm saying?
Listen,
I gotta give it to him.
But for as long as I've been hounding him for the pack, and he finally got me the pack, that's why I didn't open it right away. I wanted to make sure I had the time to really sit there and do something dope to it. So, you know, I appreciate you putting the pack together, man. I think since Myth did Scary, Myth, you haven't touched the other one, right? The third one?
No, not yet. The Dreamer. What is it called?
What is it called?
Dreamer.
I can look. Hold on, I got the
Dreamer something.
on my
yeah. What
screen here?
What I would say, Myth, if you want, after you're done with Scary, I would say like start off with the melody, see what you can do to flip the sample, right? Either
Happy
start
Dream.
Half a Dream.
Happy Dream.
Happy Dream.
Happy Dream.
Okay.
Yeah. 95 BPM. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say, you know, either flip the melody, send it to me, and I'll start the drums, or start the drums, send it to me. Whatever. I mean, I would say start it, send it to me, versus what we did with Rufus. I started it, send it to you.
Cool.
You feel me? Like the pack needs to be fully completed. You know what I'm saying? The man deserves that. You know what I mean? The pack was on point. All right, so
no, all those gonna get touched for sure.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So quick run through the drums, nothing crazy. So all the drums were done in the step sequencer, right? So I had a whole just one row. Usually in my template, I have the pattern region, which I could probably just I have a hotkey on my keyboard. You know what I mean, flex.
Flex.
All right. So when it loads up like this. But I have all of my user. I have all of my user, all of my stuff already templated out, right? So ideally, 9 times out of 10, most producers will start off with the hat. So that's why I have more hat patterns than anything else. So I have one in a regular default, 8th step. I have one in a 4th, in an 8th triplet up and down. I mean, it's all there. But I got all the sounds, all the perks, claps, rims, snares. So all I really got to do when I come in, I just unmute the strip, and I already got my hats running, and then just pick from, whichever one gives the melody the best bounce. You know what I mean? And then once I get that bounce and I'm happy with the basic, this just the foundation, then I bounce it out into a MIDI region, and then I go into the ones independently in the piano roll and start finessing the hi-hat rolls and all that other good stuff. So for the clap, let's do the hi-hats first. For the hi-hats, it was pretty standard.
Pretty standard.
Standard.
Yeah, pretty standard. They came in killing.
All right. So that's the hi-hat. So I always have a console EQ on all of my percussion, right? Because I noticed through research, through like watching videos of mastering engineers and stuff, a lot of the mixing and mastering fundamentals revolve around the tone of the sound. Yeah, you can pick the best sound quality wise, but it's not always going to be in its best tone, right? And I found with the console EQ and the presets that they have, it kind of gives that sound a little bit more warmth. You know what I'm saying? So for example, if I take the console out, it's more in your face, the hi-hats, but if I throw the console on, I get just a subtle warmth to the hi-hat. You know what I'm saying? And by the way, those that are watching, this is a stock plugin, yes. And I think it kind of mirrors like an SSL kind of the way it's set up. You know what I'm saying? Oh, by the way, the hats, quick flex right quick. All right. So all of my perks and my 808s go through Alchemy. So I have 4 hi-hats layered to make the one. I have a filter on it as well. If I need a little extra oomph, I got an amp down here, which is equivalent to the boost knob in FL, right? So on any given Sunday, I can do all 4. I can do one. I can toggle in between a whole kit, because these are each individual kit. So I got the high class slate kit in this one. I have the high class drum kit on D. I have someone's here. I'm not sure who this is. And then I have Cody from Internet Money's kit up in here. So it makes it convenient just to toggle through and all that good stuff. You know what I mean? So I got the hat.
Fire.
I threw a shaper box on it next.
I gotta get hip to that vintage console. Yeah, I gotta use that.
The shaper box gave it like a triplet, and this is a preset as well. I threw halftime. I think I took halftime off, and then I used tremolo, give it a little back and forth, little razzle dazzle, quarter
razzle dazzle.
You know what I mean? 68 depth, and then channel EQ. So that's the hi-hats. With the clap, nothing spectacular, just your standard black. Put a console EQ on that. But I do have Bus 13. Bus 13 is a drum perk spreader. So on the channel rack, I have a spreader going across everything in the rack, all the perks. But for the clap, snare, and the rims, I give it a little extra width just to give it that slap. Because of you, Myth, you say you pride yourself on making sure like the claps or the snares, the joints start, they yam. You know what I mean? So
yes, sir.
I put the spreader on those. So that's the clap. For the perk,
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, absolutely.
On the output, so like for your output gain knob on that console, on your drums, is there a reason you don't use the punchy on things like on like your clap or like on your snares, things like that?
On the console EQ?
Yeah, so go back to your console EQ.
Mm.
Go out over underneath your output drop. See how you have it on smooth?
Yeah.
So you actually have the different options there. Is there a reason you choose smooth over punchy or silky?
For two reasons. One, when I went into this drop down, I noticed that there were 3 different options, but if you notice in parentheses, they're highlighted specifically for the plugin within the vintage EQ setup. So the smooth works best with the console EQ, but you can toggle between the silky and the punchy. The second reason is because I didn't mess with any of these dials. I just went into the presets and they had everything that I needed. So I just set it and I just left it at that.
Set it and forget it.
Set it and forget it. You know what I'm saying? Presets are your friend. A lot of people don't realize that, man. Like,
absolutely.
You that's your stepping off point. You know what I mean? After that, you can tweak it, but don't spend your time opening up the plugin for the first time and then moving knobs all the way around. Find the preset that best fits the track or the channel strip that you're working with and go with that. And then as you go along, play with the knobs here and there and fine tune it. But that's the reason 100%. Why. That's the reason why I never messed with it. So that was the clap, and then you got the perk. Nothing crazy. It's a mix of. What kit is this? It's a mix of Easy Baby. I don't know where I got Easy Baby from, and the Producer Grind high class kit. Put a little bit of filter on it to give a little bit of warmth, a little bit of low end. And then I put a second perk on there. Same thing. Probably another one from the high class kit as well. Just a little bit lower. So you kind of get kind of a left and right, give it a little panning. And then an open hat. All right. It's a simple open hat. Nothing crazy. I think it's
like a breakdown. That's dope though. The symbol.
Yeah, just like I think it's 2 and 1. No, it's just 1. High class cymbal focusing. Right. And that was
sounds like it was tuned down a little bit. At least sounded that way.
So what I always do when I remember is, let's just say the melody is in D sharp minor, right? So the 808 is in D sharp minor.
Did you tune the cymbal to the melody?
I tune all the perks. The only thing that won't get tuned is probably the clap, because if the clap sounds good as is, or the snare or whatever, I'll leave it as is. But if I can tune it, if it needs to be tuned up into that key or into that scale, and it sounds good, everything gets tuned up to sit in key with the melody.
Absolutely. That's high-end sauce, folks.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's just I would say I do it 98% of the time. Sometimes I just forget, or I'm just in a rush, or I just want to knock a track out. You know what I'm saying? But then all in all, this is the track. This is the channel rack with just the beat. So that's
yeah, you went in.
Those are the perks, right? And I know, Myth, you said you wanted to start using folders. This is the convenience of the folder, right? Because I can just mute the perk section, unmute it, solo it, whatever, without having to mute or solo each individual, sound within the folder.
Oh yeah, yes sir. I'm already using it. Yes sir.
So this is the KN8 channel rack, which has the kick and the 808. I also have a reverse kick and an 808 kick, but it's not in the project. So this is with it on.
Slap.
Right. that's with
Joint
the
slapping,
kick.
slapping.
I don't think the kick has anything special in it. I think it's actually one of my favorite kicks I still use to this day. The All You Need, the only kick I use, TB.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I use
Oh
this.
yeah,
I use
classic.
I use it about 80% of the time for beats. So I threw that on, and I threw both filters on with a low pass of 12 dB on both. And you already know, I got the enveloper. I got the
Yes,
enveloper
sir.
on there. It's bust though. I don't have it on it because I found that when I put it on the strip, it dilutes the source sound. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
It's like with the imagers as well. Like if you take an imager and you put it on the sound itself, yeah, it'll give you the spread, but it's taking the source sound and it's literally spreading it apart, leaving you nothing in the middle. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I bust it at the end of the day. So I keep the central, the main source sound, but I get that spread as well, or I get that extra slap from the enveloper. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So I have that bust at -36. And then with the 808, by default, I have a compressor on there, already sidechained. So I already have a sidechain preset. It's already sidechained to the kick. So whenever I start a project and I need a sidechain, I just turn it on and then it's automatically sidechaining for me. You know what I'm saying? And then if I need to give it a little tweak, I'll give it a little tweak here and there. But 9 times out of 10, where it's at, it's good money. And then I have a fresh air on it as well. Sometimes I like the 808 that I selected, but it just doesn't have enough grit. And I don't want to put any type of wave shaper or any type of distortion on there. I just want to pull out the hidden grit that's in the 808. So here's the 808 without the fresh air. And then this is with it on.
Dope.
Yeah. Yeah, it just brings out.
And almost gave it like an analog vibe too.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's dope. Yeah.
Yep. And
Okay,
then
some sauce.
And then
who makes that plugin? I've never seen that one either. The Fresh Air.
That's Slate Digital.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
And it's free. Yeah. I don't know if it's free now, but it was free. It was free. I got an email from them. Yo, try this out. Man, say less. I'm there. And then that's pretty much it, man. That's the beat as a whole. Oh,
do me one favor though before you actually save and click off this project.
Yeah.
Drop my tag to like -6 or
I knew you had a preference.
That shit's loud as fuck.
It was
slapping.
It was actually louder, to be honest with you. And I brought it down a tad.
Drop it down to like negative. I usually try -12, depending on how loud the intro is, but -12, like that pocket usually tends to work all right for it.
All right, let me see here.
That's drill bit.
Yeah, because that bitch at ear piercing.
Yeah, you know why too? Because I have your tag and my tag under the tag folder, which has a Dr. MS and an ozone imager to give it the most width. So it gives it the width, but it makes it louder. So let me bring that down a little bit, and then you tell me.
That's drill bit.
I go even further with that.
That's drill bit.
All right, there you go. You're getting in the pocket
That's
there.
drill bit.
Yeah, there you go. That's good.
Bet.
Yep, that's good.
Just run it from the top, just to sure.
That's drill bit.
Right on the money.
Now I just got to make sure. I might have to bring mine down because I leveled both of ours together.
Nah, yours has the 808 behind it, the big bass. I bet it's on fun.
Hades.
At least that's fun.
All right, so I'm gonna go.
What you think, man?
Dope. No, I just slap her. That's a go. See what I can add to the equation.
Yeah, I mean that's for those viewing but mainly for us, this is where we get the sauce from each other, right? So
Absolutely.
Especially with Drill and him using the guitar rig and amp designer, and I haven't used those in a minute, but I need to start using them, especially if I'm making melodies from scratch. So yeah, we take the sauce from each other, and the viewers take the sauce from us.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
All right, so I'm glad you like the track, man.
No, that's crazy, bro.
Oh, joint slapping.
Dope.
I'm glad you like it. All right, so Myth, let me stop the share. It's on you, Brody.
All right.
My boy said, all right, all right, all right.
All right, all right, all right. Yeah, that melody is catchy too.
The moment I was done, I was like, "This internet money right here. This Taz Taylor."
It reminds me of Dominic Fike. His big song he got out right now. This is what it sounds like.
Yeah. When you were making the melody, or when you make melodies in general, do you have something in mind, or are you just kind of freeballing it, and if something comes, then you lay it down?
100% honest with you, I literally opened a session, a brand new from scratch, brand new blank session, and then I just start trying to catch a vibe, and whatever I'm like, oh yeah, I kind of like this loop, and then I just build off that, and whatever happens. Sometimes it's fire, sometimes it's happy, sometimes it's sad, sometimes it don't matter. Whatever kind of comes together. If I just I kind of paint at a picture, if you will, and see what comes out of it.
Gotcha.
Yep, that's how I do it with the beats, brother.
Yo, Myth,
I feel you.
Myth, two things, right? One,
your
the window that's showing us, right, in the webcam on your end, is it showing the DAW right now?
Yeah, looks like.
No, I just see you three.
You just see us three. Okay, because on our
I'm sharing my screen.
No, we can see the screen, but where we would normally see us, we just see another instance of the thing. But I'm just gonna
like a screen and a screen.
Yeah. But I'm just gonna. We won't be able to see each other, but we'll just. All right, bet. So.
Let's go.
Yeah, let's go. Oh, we don't hear nothing. Did you share the audio?
Yep.
Is your Logic set to Zoom?
Yeah, the preferences probably not.
Ta-da! Zoom. Zoomy.
Hear me? Can you hear it?
Yep.
We got you.
Cool.
So wait. Walk us through what's about to happen here. You added to this?
That's drill bit.
Yeah, I'm just gonna vibe with it and see what melodies and counter melodies and moments that I can make happen that fit. I mean, I don't have any premeditated ideas.
Oh no, what I'm saying is, did you add to it already?
Well, no, I added these. Well, yeah, added these chords when I first heard it, just to
fill it out.
Just yeah. So that just gave me a template of chord-wise, melodically-wise, where it can go if like a singer hopped on it.
Yeah.
Or, so just to give it some color. You know what I mean?
It has, the track has that versatility where you can hear a rapper on it or a singer or a combination of both.
Or both.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes, sir.
Okay. By the way, when you hit share, did you hit high fidelity, right? I think I asked that already.
Yes, sir.
Right,
Let me
that high fidelity ain't cheap, Brody. You know what I mean? That's the most expensive stereo high fidelity ever. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, here we go. It wasn't on high fidelity. Here we go.
Oh, it wasn't?
All
right, let's see. Oh yeah, big difference.
Okay, we in there.
Yeah, we in there.
So yeah, I add chords just to sort of go along with some counter melodies that I already hear in my head when I hear it.
Yeah.
On the hook, I'll just usually go to the hook, straight to the hook, and see, what vibes I come up with.
Okay.
So here's some chords. All right, so like I would just do that, you know what I mean? And just like something that catches a vibe where it's like, okay, it sounds like a record, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And just roll with it.
Yeah.
So I will record this.
Hades.
So I would do that, and then if I need to make an alternate version of that same melody,
I'm hating on you right now, man. I'm so yo. Both of y'all.
Why you hating on your boy, man?
One plays the guitar and probably plays the keys as well. The other one damn sure plays the keys and the drums. And here I am playing one finger notes and taking loops.
The end result was that slapper that you just sent to me. It's this.
Yeah.
Right.
So it don't matter. It don't matter how you get there, as long as you get there. You straight.
Yeah, for sure.
Myth, will you do me a favor?
Yes, sir.
Click on your limiter on your stereo out so it's not clipping by like 12 dB so we can hear it without the distortion.
Got you.
Yeah, there you go. Much better.
Yo, I did have a question, man, and for drill as well.
Sir.
When I bounced this out, this is the first time I bounced out stems in a long time. When I bounced it out, I killed all the plugins on the stereo out. That includes the limiter, the clipper, and then on the mix bus, I think I killed the stereo imager. Should I be? I know I should be killing the plugins on the stereo out. But should I be killing the imager on the mix bus?
Well, see, that's probably something that you should ask tech actually.
Okay.
For like mastering, you know what I'm saying? I mean, if you send it, either way, like if you send it to me raw, because I mean, they were coming in slapping, so I turned everything off and then just turned, the ad limiter back on. But
And because you're playing the keys by hand, you rarely have to use the MIDI transform to humanize the notes, right?
Right.
oh yeah, it's just already in there. It's naturally in there.
So what'd you do there, Myth? You just took the chord that you had played on the MIDI keyboard and then you just duplicated it and get an octave up?
Yep.
I think you got duplicate notes. You got duplicate notes on F sharp.
Gotcha.
No, I think you got rid of it.
Yeah, I just erased it. But I just want to get a certain type of spread.
Yeah.
You know, on those chords and just elaborate on the melody, just to give it there. It's like there, it'll be there. You won't really notice it, but you will notice it. You know what I'm saying?
So we split the publishing 3 ways. Is that what we doing?
Worse for
Let's
me.
do it.
Yeah.
I'm with it.
We might have to give Drill the 34% since he made the melody. It'd probably be no beat without the melody, so we might have to bless him
He
with
came with the
34%.
IP
Yeah.
of the melody. There we go. To the next section, see what we're working I had to throw it in there just cause I had to do it one time. All right, so let's see what we got.
That's drill bit.
Don't forget to put your tag in here too.
It's in there. It's in there by default.
Bro, that little 8-bar loop right here is so hard.
Myth. 80s.
Okay, so this section right here.
It's going hard.
Oh yeah, man, it's coming together. It sounds good. I'm just adding just ear candy and just some color. You know what I mean?
Sounds sick though. Yeah. That top line you added is super catchy.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, that's what we going for. I mean, it was, it was easy. It just automatically just fit in. As soon as I played the record, like, okay, this will work. Let's do this.
Yeah, it really pops out during the bridge.
Mhm. Yes, sir.
That's what's up, man. You got a nice head start. Got you a nice head start.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. No, this can end up being a big record, low key.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The power of LPG.
Yes, sir.
I mean, so what's good with Scary? Is Scary complete, or you're still working on that?
It's pretty much almost complete. Let me go and save this.
Yeah, save that joint for sure.
Well, is it complete enough for Drill to hear it?
Oh yeah.
Okay. So we get a reaction.
Oh
right,
yeah.
bet. And Drill hasn't heard it yet.
No. I haven't
All
heard
right,
this one either.
Bet. Also, Drill, do me a favor. When he plays the beat, keep your head up, because when I played my beat, your head was down. You were vibing to it, but we couldn't see your face if you smiled or anything to that effect. We want to see we want to see the screw face if you're not feeling it, and the smile if you are.
Gotcha.
And for those watching, there's no bias, just because we all in the same community, as the generals, we're not doing any favoritism, saying it's hard when it really isn't. Like these are genuine reactions to our production. If it's trash, we're gonna tell each other it's trash. If it's fire, we're gonna tell each other it's fire. You know what I'm saying?
I thought this one was trash personally.
Which one?
I put together that entire, like, with the exception of Rufus, I put together all the other stuff in this pack in like 35 minutes.
Flex. That's the original
loop.
Right.
Loop. Now I manipulated it a little bit.
So you didn't use any of the MIDI, you just used the guitar?
Yep.
Gotcha.
Yes, sir.
He used the part I hated the most.
Myth.
Yeah,
That's
so
alright.
man, appreciate it. Because this is what I actually just ended up flipping and chopping the melody a little bit
Mhm.
and reversing it.
Mhm.
So this is the,
Yeah,
you
that joint
know,
was going crazy. You made that sound like a horror movie.
Yeah,
That sounds
right?
sick.
yeah.
That's fire.
So this is, secret sauce, bubbling shimmer
Yes, sir.
that I threw on there. And you already know
Yes, sir. The flex.
EQ on there. This is actually pretty cool. I blended in an inverted flex pitch on there.
You know, this is a plugin that I rarely use, and only because I'm always using the transpose function in the inspector. But I would think it does.
Okay.
I would think you have more functionality with the plugin itself.
See, and I
go ahead.
I use the AU pitch shift, so we all use the different pitch shifter.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Now see this, I use this, on certain samples or loops.
Mhm.
I just sort of use this in the same way people use halftime.
Mhm.
I use it as basically in reverse. So I'll use it to get a higher pitch in some cases.
Okay.
Right.
So turn it off.
Oh yeah, lifts everything.
Yeah. So here you go. So now it's getting a high octave.
Right. That
And it
top end.
spreads it too, yeah.
You can hear the format change too. It kind of gives it like a weird distortion.
Yeah, and it
Almost
makes
like
it
a
sort
pitch
of
bend.
gives exactly. And then I'm doing that sort of in the automation too. But it also gives it sort of almost like a sample vibe as well.
Yeah, that joint hard.
Yeah, so that's what it did. A little idea I came up with.
Just so they can see how crazy that is from my perspective, though, you should play the MP3 of the actual original loop.
Cool.
It's in that
Gotcha.
pack. That way they can hear what originally all the elements in the loop were, because that's nuts that you flipped it to that. I was completely 180 from what the original was.
And you know what? At the end of the day, that's what it's really all about. I mean, how many times out of
I think this is it. Yeah, but to go from that to what you have, that's nuts.
And I'm probably going to flip this 3 different ways too.
I was just thinking the same thing. There's so many
There's
elements
so many
to
directions
the
you can go.
MP3 that you can do. It's just the limits of your imagination at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, that's hard. Definitely.
Nah, y'all both killed it.
That's definitely.
Especially
hard.
that Rufus joint. That Rufus joint's next level.
Appreciate
We gotta
it.
get
That's a placement.
Yeah, that we need to
place.
play this that one. That one's placeable.
Yeah, no, that one is already a vibe. I'm gonna start finishing up on that one tonight, actually.
Yeah, right.
Because it's pretty much already done. It doesn't need too much more. Just those little
y'all killed that
elements.
joint.
Yes, sir.
Oh, let me just fix the camera here. Camera looking all kinds of crazy. Camera looking bonkers. Do it again.
And yeah, in drill, that type of arpeggiator guitar stuff, you can actually, if there's any ideas that you have with just that, you could just send me those. You don't even have to make it a full loop, because I already have an idea,
Y'all were talking about the dark, y'all were calling them dark guitar loops. What's an example of a dark guitar loop? Because I'll just go find scales and keys that are that dark kind of vibe, and I'll just send you a shitload of arpeggiated guitar stuff.
Perfect.
Yeah, that's perfect.
I can play in anything. I just need to know, you know what I mean? If you can give me a sample record, I can go and catch a vibe off the way the chord structure of that song is, and then I can just kind of ad lib freeform shit around that.
Dope.
I mean,
and sort of that YouTube Sting, that arena vibe is dope too. You know what I'm saying? Arpeggiator arena vibe. And if you want to go 80s vibe, whatever vibe you're feeling, really. You can
Yeah,
just go ahead and
Spanish
just
guitar, whatever. You know what I mean? That's the Spanish type of guitar
Break out
vibes.
the acoustic.
Oh yeah,
that
yeah,
flamenco
for sure,
stuff.
for sure.
yeah. He trying to shout out Miami. Okay, I see what you're doing. I see what
already
you did
know.
there.
I might mess around,
Okay.
make a reggaeton beat out of it. Who knows? You know what I mean?
Okay, all right.
I'll put
Yeah.
together some more
Reggaeton
guitar specific
challenge?
shit then.
Yeah,
Yes,
for
sir.
sure, man. But it's like you two, as of right now, you two are like really the main melody makers, right? I'm trying to get my game up a little bit, but y'all the two real melody makers. So anytime y'all make something, man, or y'all got a pack sitting around doing nothing, drop it in the LPG folder, man, and we'll put it to work for sure.
For sure,
I'm saying.
for sure.
But yeah, man. So this concludes today's LPG segment. So we had the flex talk earlier. We did went over
You won.
we we went over the projects off of Drill Bits pack, which was on point, and got a lot of sauce. So for those of you who aren't able to sit through the live stream due to time constraints, or aren't able to watch the live afterwards, via Twitch or YouTube, we're going to be splicing up all the 8-minute sauce that we can find within the stream, so you guys can actually watch little bits and pieces, specifically. So if you want to see a highlight discussing the pedal boards or amp designer, we'll have clips of that you can watch, which will be anywhere between 4 to 8 minutes long, so you don't have to sit through a whole hour of the stream to view it. But if you want to watch a whole hour of it, we'll have that available for you as well.
Get all the sauce.
Get all the sauce.
Absolutely, yeah.
So soak it all in. And like I said in the previous streams, we have a ton of segments coming up. I think the first few segments, the first few lives that we had, including this one, was really to iron out all the kinks with OBS and Zoom. And now that we officially have it ironed out, minus the little snafu with the audio earlier on my end, everything is good to go, right? So keep a lookout for us in the weeks to come with new segments like Pass the Baton next week. And we got I was gonna say BitBoy Crypto. We have Drill Bit. He's gonna be doing his crypto segment, Crypto Cook Up. We got the Tech Talk, we got the Beat Battle. And the Beat Battle is gonna be something special, that I promise you. So
Absolutely,
yeah, we got a lot going on. So we're on the move, man. Y'all gonna see a lot of good content coming from us. And of course, make sure you like, follow, subscribe, whatever these platforms allow you to do. Share it with a friend. Tell your moms about it. Tell your pops about it. Your brother, sister, anybody who wants to use Logic Pro is currently using it. On behalf of myself, Drill Bit, JMYTH, I want to thank y'all for viewing the stream, and we'll catch y'all next week.
Yes, sir. Peace.
All right.